Good day, world, and welcome back to Stuff We Do, where we do all the knife stuff you love. Knife reviews, knife tests, knife modifications, and outdoor stuff with knives. In front of you, in front of me, you can see that we have two Buck knives today. These are two very underrated Buck knives and USA-made Buck knives, which we cannot say for any Buck knife anymore these days. I used to love Buck knives, especially the folding knives, but now most of them are being made in China. The Canoe and the Peanut and the little ones that I used to like, yeah, unfortunately they have that very ugly stamp on them which says China. So these are two of my favorite USA-made Buck knives. Apart from the 110, which is most likely the most iconic and my most favorite Buck knife, I really like these two. Okay, if we think American-made knives, everybody immediately thinks Buck, pretty much first. It's an iconic knife. Even here in South Africa, I have friends that exclusively carry Buck knives when they go hunting. And we do love to go hunting here in South Africa. Let's start with the Bantam. This is the Buck Bantam. Of course, it always does that when I'm on video. Okay, the Buck Bantam. You can still get this for less than 450 Rand at this stage in South Africa. It's a very lightweight knife. This is the 285 one. You get a bigger one, I think a smaller one. It's made from Buck's 420 stainless steel with the fantastic heat treat. Buck can get more out of 420 than pretty much anybody else in the world. Okay, blade length from year to year is 7.7 centimeters, and the closed length is 11.1 centimeters. The handle is thermoplastic, but just look at that handle. That is extremely pretty. You get these in a lot of different types and patterns and things like that. I like this one. Regrettably, when you make a knife with only a plastic handle, without any scales to bring down the weight, you get this. The knife will flex a little bit because it's only the plastic that gives it rigidity, and only from year to year. So there's the pivot, which you cannot take apart. There's the pivot, and that little piece of plastic has to keep the blade in check. So unfortunately, we do get a bit of wiggle. Nothing serious, nothing to worry about, but we do get a little bit of wiggle. Okay, it's got a mid-mounted lock back. It's got a pocket clip, but only for one position. It's only tip down, right hand carry. Okay, but the good thing about this knife, it is USA made, but only as of 2009. Before that, this was actually made in China. But then because they sold so good, Buck started making them in America again. So if you have one of these and it's post 2009, kudos, you own an American made knife. Okay, and very proudly, they will say that on the blade, Buck USA. Very underrated. This thing is extremely cheap, extremely easy to carry, extremely light, extremely sharp. It's got this wonderful, I don't know, I would say a working finish on it, where it is like stone washed, but just enough so whatever scratches you put on there feels like they should be in there. Also, this is a wonderful blade shape for working with this knife. Okay, I really like this knife. Secondly, we are going to look at the Buck SpitFire. One-handed opening, definitely two-handed closing. The Buck SpitFire. At least you can swap the pocket clip around on this one. only tip up, unfortunately. It's got anodized aluminum scales. You get them in a few different colors, which I cannot remember at this stage. There we see the Buck, and on the blade we see Buck USA. Also a USA made knife. Also, this one I'm pretty sure you can still get for 550 Rand here in South Africa, but at most of the sites I looked, it's sold out right now. So if you can find it, good on you. Blade length 7 centimeters. The blade steel also 440. Blade thickness 2.4 millimeters, which means this is quite thin, which makes this wonderful and slicey. Also a mid-mounted lockback. We set the 2-position pocket clip, and made in the USA. This knife I really like carrying with me for a pocket knife. No frills, just extremely comfortable and extremely slicey and sharp. Okay, so these are my 2 very underrated buck knives that I think more people should look at. Stay safe, happy, and have a good one.